staying at home, doing nothing, it hurts. Not knowing anything hurts. Holidays, birthdays, hurt.
Is there ever a day that you don't think about this?
24/7, always. You know, like she said, she was the light of our lives. She's going to always be there. You just can't forget.
Hi, my name is Carina Michelle, also known as Mrs. M1ZZ3Z. That's my Instagram handle. You can find me on there. I'm here today to talk about the Carina Saunders murder case. It is still an unsolved murder to this day, and her body was found in 2011. So if you do the math, it's been about 6 or 7 years since her body was found, and the murder is still unsolved. There's a lot of evidence that kind of points to the murderers, but it's not physical evidence. It's a lot of like witness statements and what people seen and what people heard, and so there's not any really physical evidence that leads to her murderers, and so this case is still unsolved, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning and just try to be as accurate as possible and as respectful as possible. My intentions aren't to make this video so the family can see it on YouTube and like suddenly relive their nightmare. I really hope that that's not what happens. That's not my intention. My intention is to get this information out there, let more people know about this case, because I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about it, and not only do I want to remind people, but I want more people to know about it that don't already know about it, you know. And I'm gonna kind of do this series. I'm gonna try to do it every Monday, where I talk about a missing person case or a unsolved murder case. And if you want me to talk about any topics in particular pertaining to a murder case or a missing person case, just leave it in the comments, or you can direct message me on Instagram. So Carina Saunders was last seen on October 8th of 2011. She was last seen getting into a red pickup truck at the Newcastle casino, and her friends apparently warned her against this. They told her they didn't want her to go with this man. I guess the man got out at some point in time, and he supposedly had 2 tattoo sleeves on his arms, and they're obviously older men, but she got into the car anyways and she left. And I think Carina was 19 or 20 at this time. This was the last time she was seen. This was on October 8th, and from my knowledge, her parents actually reported her missing September 28th. So I don't know if she was a runaway or if she was abducted, but her parents reported her missing on the 28th, and then on October 8th was the last reported sighting of her by her friends. And then on October 13th, 2011, her body was found behind a homeland in a duffel bag. I remember it was really sad whenever they did finally identify the body.
Right now, late breaking, Bethany police identify a body found inside a duffel bag.
Investigators now say it belonged to 19-year-old Carina Saunders. Now,
I remember that seeing that news report really got to me. A lot of the reason why is because we were the same age at the time, and just it being so close to home, you know? And the fact that her killers are still free just scares me. The fact that there's a man out there that brutally murdered this woman and he's still walking free just astonishes me. Because the autopsy, they didn't release it for a very long time. Obviously, it's been 7 years, so they've released it by now. But originally, they didn't want to release because the details were so graphic and gruesome, and nobody wants to read that. Nobody wants to relive that. And this poor girl, she was tortured for days before ultimately being killed.
It was inside this two-story home on Oklahoma City's south side that investigators say two men, Luis Ruiz and Jimmy Massey, brutally murdered 19-year-old Carina Saunders. Investigators say Ruiz planned the entire murder. According to an affidavit, on October 11, 2011, witnesses saw Ruiz physically beat Carina Saunders, tie her up before cutting off her left foot.
She was murdered to intimidate other people, the other women that were in the house.
Today, investigators said Jimmy Massey kidnapped another woman and forced her to watch Saunders being tortured. Today, prosecutors filed first-degree murder charges against Jimmy Massey and Luis Ruiz.
Jimmy Massey was already in jail for drug charges unrelated to the case. And I guess while he was in jail, the police coerced a statement out of him, or got a statement out of him, and that statement, I think, is what led to the arrest of Luis Ruiz and Jimmy Massey himself. Or I think at the time when they made their arrest, the evidence they had, a lot of it was just witness statements. For example, like Ruiz's girlfriend claimed to had heard Ruiz say that she was going to be dealt with.
Prior to Saunders' murder, Ruiz's girlfriend had to babysit Carina Saunders. According to court papers, Ruiz told his girlfriend that Saunders was going to be dealt with.
And also, she's supposedly seen a video of Carina's murder, and when she started to hear Carina scream in the video, she apparently shut the phone and didn't ever talk to her boyfriend about it or like anything. She just kind of brushed it off. And from my knowledge, I think the people that made these witness statements, I know that one of them is obviously scared for her life. And I think the other one, it being a former girlfriend or maybe even a current girlfriend, who knows. I think both witnesses, I think one of them just didn't want to cooperate and the other one just kind of retracted her statement from what I know. I'm not really sure.
Massey is believed to have kidnapped an approximately 20-year-old female from a residence in Oklahoma City. He then transported that female to the place where Carina Saunders was both tortured and murdered.
But after about 7 or 8 months in jail, Ruiz was released due to insufficient evidence and the case being apparently flawed. Supposedly Ruiz had an alibi and the investigators ignored the alibi, although I couldn't find anything online as to what his alibi was.
County District Attorney David Prater has filed a motion to dismiss charges against two men arrested in the dismemberment slaying of Carina Saunders.
It's good, it's I'm just ready to go home to my family, that's all.
So what are you going to do the first thing you do when you get home?
Go see my kids.
Thank you, Jesus Christ. Thank you, Jesus Christ.
Massey is charged in a separate criminal case and not expected to be released from jail.
So after Ruiz was released in 2013, the case just kind of went cold, and a lot of people didn't really talk about it no more because there wasn't anything new coming out. Now in 2013, I think during this time, the police did receive a tip that they might find Carina's clothes at this house. And I think it was owned by this Kenny Richards guy, but I could be wrong about that. And so I will get to that later, because in 2013, they didn't find anything when they, searched his house the first time. And then in 2016, Ruiz sued the Oklahoma City Police Department for $50,000 due to, he claimed that his civil rights were violated, that he was falsely arrested, falsely imprisoned, and the prosecution was malicious towards him. Like he said that they coerced a statement out of Jimmy. They said that Ruiz, they ignored Ruiz's alibi, and as a result, he actually got awarded $50,000 from the Oklahoma City Police Department. They settled for $50,000 because of his supposed false imprisonment. But, you know, the way the justice system works, you're innocent until proven guilty. Obviously, if he wasn't responsible or is not responsible for her murder, then yeah, he did deserve to spend those 8 months in jail. But from the way that 3 different witnesses all had the same kind of story, and they've all kind of pointed fingers towards him, I would like to think that he was a suspect, but you know, like they said, they don't have sufficient evidence. Now, just because they dropped the charges doesn't mean they can't re-establish them later. So that is one thing, I guess, that is good as to why they dropped the charges, because had they not dropped the charges and taken Ruiz or Massey to court, they probably would have lost due to the fact that they didn't really have any physical evidence, and most of this was just hearsay from witness statements and stuff. And they probably would have lost the prosecution, and he wouldn't, and you know, maybe down the road they find out some information that really does incriminate him, but they can't charge him again because he already went to court for it, and like you said, he wasn't, you know, he wasn't guilty or wasn't found guilty. And yeah, like they said, you can't, was it called double jeopardy, where you can't charge somebody twice for the same crime. So I think that's why they dropped the charges, because they didn't have enough physical evidence, and at least enough to take it to trial and prove that he was in fact her killer. In April of 2017, a new lead was found. Basically, they were told that her clothes would be found in a metal tank in the backyard of this house they originally searched in.
The owner of this house told us that this house has been searched before. Can you confirm that?
Yes, but we haven't brought our ground penetrating radar out here or excavating tools and equipment to do that. And so because we've gotten other leads and tips that send us here, we're going to do everything we can to write this one off, and hopefully we will find something. But we have done this so many times, we don't get our hopes up very often.
And although they did not find the metal tank, they did find her, not her, but they did find clothes. They found a knife, a shirt, sandals, and a jacket buried in the backyard. And that was in April 2017. And by October 2017, they have wanted to make it known that if there's a supposed video of Carina's murder, and it has her killer's face in it, supposedly, and as of right now, and as of October 2017, they're offering a $10,000 reward to anybody who can find this video or has seen this video and can possibly turn it into the police, or even just give a tip as to where it might be. If you know any tips that you know would be helpful towards the case, that also, they want that as well. But like it says, mainly this $10,000 reward is for you to get, if you find a tip or just something that leads to the sorry, my cat just walked in and it scared the crap out of me because I couldn't see him, so I just saw the door fling open. Oh my god, it scared me. And in the description box down below, as you can see, I've left the number that you can call if you have any tips to give, you know, that are related to this case. This case really hits home to me because she was the same age as me. I was 20 years old in 2011. I am 26, turning 27 now. It's a hard pill to swallow to think that she would be my age, and, you know, and she deserved to, you know, live. Like, she did not deserve to have this happen to her. And I really hope that, you know, we find justice for Carina, and I really hope that her family finds justice and just some sort of relief and some sort of peace out of this. Hopefully we do catch his killer, because it just blows my mind to think that this guy is still walking the streets. Like, that is so scary, and it's gonna happen again, or it has happened again, and so he needs to get caught. But God bless Carina and her family, and I hope you guys find peace and justice for your daughter. Thank you for watching.
You know, you want to see a real man? Look me in the eyes. Live what I've had to live through.